Welcome to Forever Rugby on Forever Sports. This is the match review by me for the Sharks downing the Bulls in the final round of the Currie Cup before semi-finals and final. And the Sharks take a 5-game winning streak into the semi-final against the same opponents next weekend. But the key thing is, next weekend, the Sharks are playing away. They're up at Loftus. And that's why I think this win was so crucial for them. It gives them a really nice springboard into that semi-final because it's going to be a tough slog up in Loftus. Incredibly wet and difficult conditions for both sides today. But one of the key problems that the Sharks will face, and I think the Bulls do a little bit as well, is that there were a lot of injuries in this game. A lot of little niggles that happened. One of them being, what's his name, the forward, Ro Andrea came on for like 2 minutes before he had to go off for his calf. So a lot of little injuries there, which will make next week a bit challenging, I think, for John Plumtree's men, getting the right players, players ready when you have, specific squad for the URC starting in 2 weeks' time. But we're going to go break down the game, play by play, or rather point by point. It wasn't a hugely high scoring game, 24 points to 18. The Sharks won. And it was the Bulls who opened the scoring on the 15th minute with a try to Akke van der Merwe, former Sharks player. Conversion missed by Jakob van der Walt, but he got a penalty on the 23rd minute to take the game to 8 points to 0. Before, on the 32nd minute, a converted try from Dylan Richardson took play. Took play up to 8 points to 7, and that is what it stayed at halftime. So Sharks trailing by 1. Then the lead changed 6 times, with Masuka getting a penalty early on in the second half on the 43rd minute. Then Jakob van der Walt getting a penalty on the 44th minute. So another lead change, and then another lead change as Masuka got a penalty on the 47th minute. The lead changed again for the Bulls on the 51st minute as Ambrose Papier, with a stunning solo try, brought the lead back for the Bulls, and the conversion took it out to a 5-point lead for Jakob van der Walt, who wasn't kicking his best. He missed a couple of penalties. Then in the 69th minute, Masuku got a penalty to break that lead down to a 2-point lead for the Bulls, before Jordan Hendrickse powered his way over on the 74th minute to bring it up to 21 points to 18. So Sharks take the lead for the 6th and final time. Masuku missed the conversion, but he did get a penalty in overtime to take it out to a 24 points to 18 lead. Now, what does this do for the next round? Nothing. In terms of points and anything, nothing for the next round. No log changes. All it does is provide some assurity for the Sharks going into next round. They're playing the same opposition away and probably going to be in better conditions. So now they have to kind of come to grips with their injuries, figure out what their away game plan is going to be, and they're going to have to use a lot more of their youngsters in the next round's game, which is not a bad thing. Their youngsters have played very well this season. And have been quite exciting to watch after what has been a really not a great period for Sharks rugby. So I'm not too mad about that. I like the youngsters. And we need to keep progressing them. The Bulls, on the other hand, they lose nothing from this game. It would have been nice to get a win, same as it has been for the Sharks, because they lost their last game as well to the Lions. But again, they go back home for the semi-final, so good. It's good position for them. They could have a home final if the Cheetahs beat the Lions and they beat the Sharks. But the Sharks can only have a home final if the Cheetahs beat the Lions and they beat the Bulls. So interesting, all to play for next weekend. But a good win for the Sharks in very tough conditions. And only thing that's slightly worrying is the injuries. Other than that, guys, have a great end to the weekend. The Box won 2 games in a row against New Zealand. Australia got slaughtered in the second half by Argentina, which was fabulous to watch. And the Sharks get a good win over the Bulls. My name's Cal, and that was the review for the Sharks vs. the Bulls. Have a great weekend, guys.